Welcome to Ramblings with Rebecca. My name is Rebecca Farnum, and I'm tired. Today we're going to talk about Sabbath and rest, because I need one. Sabbath is a term that now has a lot of religious connotations, and may be seen as something that's negative to some people. But the idea, I think, is actually very, very important. So this is a public service announcement of sorts, and hopefully maybe also a wee bit of a history lesson. But basically, everyone go to sleep. Sabbath. In the traditional modern sense, it's a weekly day, so 1 out of every 7 days of rest, perhaps also a time of worship. It is observed differently amongst the Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Most obviously, perhaps, in that it's different days. For Muslims, the day of rest and worship is Friday. For Jews, it's Saturday. And for Christians, it's Sunday. But this is, of course, where the West gets the idea of weekend and why the weekend is Saturday, Sunday in our current calendar. That has not always been, human society has not always functioned on a 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday and then not having a job, or at least not, going into the office for economic pay Saturday and Sunday. But most ideas of Sabbath in that kind of word, with that label, originate from a textual tradition. But the term has been used not just in the Abrahamics, and also not just for like that 1 day a week, but also a big celebration that may happen every 7 years. It's also sometimes used for a secular holiday. So that it connotates ideas of rest and rejuvenation, and the fact that humans as animals are not meant to be hamsters perpetually on a wheel, right? The hamster gets off the wheel sometimes, and we should too. So we're really bad at this. Some of us are worse at it than others. And I would say that, generally speaking, America is worse at it than Europe. We really, really love our ethic of hard work pays off and you must work hard. So go, 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 and productivity. To the point that we stop questioning, I think, like, what are we being productive for? Or two, how are we being productive? What does productivity mean? And we're bad at ideas that, in fact, rest can be productive. And that spending time relaxing, whether that means in bed with a book or actually spending time focused on your family rather than dealing with your family, or going to a movie or binge watching Netflix science fiction, or whatever else. I mean, spending time in whatever, kind of recharges you. That's not something that should only be used when you absolutely desperately need it or you're going to go insane, right? Like, that's not a particularly healthy lifestyle. It's much better to do that purposefully and intentionally. And if you're taking some kind of Sabbath, whether that's a full day every week, or if that's like 1 weekend a month that is reserved for you to do whatever the heck you want and you're not taking commitments during that time, or if that's an hour at the beginning and end of every day or whatever, but some kind of intentional focused rest time where, like, actually the agenda and the stated goal of that time is relaxation, I think is very, very helpful. And since it's December, I think it's also, important to give a shout out to the idea, that especially in northern, parts of the world, where the world is falling asleep. Right? I mean, the planet is sleeping for us right now, or at least, certainly this island is sleeping, right? I mean, it is only daylight from like 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Maybe we should take a hint from that. When all of the other mammals are hibernating, stop trying to do 80 hours of work a week. It's not good for you. You're not meant to. So this is a little bit of a, like, let's all be animals and go get hot cocoa and hide in bed for the next month, okay? But I think, I mean, yes, and I say this with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, I really do believe that there is something to the fact that, we are flesh and blood, and we are animals, and we are on cycles, and that cycles of rest are just as important for growth, right, as cycles of water, so make that harvest. So, everyone, chill out. It's good for you. And it's good for everyone else too.